It's game time, baby. Your Tuesday night delight. It's Tuesday day, but it doesn't matter. We are 3 weeks from football. It is the MattyDaddy. Today is an important show for two reasons. NFT, regular season, right around the corner. Inserting those lineups, seeing the best value. We're talking overvalued cards. Guys that are busts. People you don't want to necessarily depend on week to week. We're going to have some bold calls, some shots fired. But I'm not alone, my man. Tonight, we're doing it big, and we're doing it live. We're talking to Swolesome. Who is Swolesome? Everybody wants to know. They've seen him on Discord. They've seen him in the NFT. This guy is a stud in the making. This guy's part of Gainables.io, one of the biggest NFT convention expos coming up, and he is here today. So let's bring him in. Swole Patrol. Woo! What's up, my man?
Thank you. Hello. How you doing today?
How you doing? Dude, pumped to have you. Let's talk you, man. Logan, Swole, I met you probably about a month ago. We talked a little Tampa Bay, as you can see from the get up. Let's talk you before we get started on these busts, though, man. Tell everybody a little about you and what you do.
Oh, perfect. So I've been in the NFT space for a very, very long time, 2017, 2018. I actually used NFTs to pay for my wedding. I've been made the rounds, a lot of connections in the space, a lot of friends in this space. I was actually got to quit my job because of NFTs. I'm actually able to pursue it. And like you said, with Gainables.io, I'm actually helping people learn about NFTs, NFT gaming, and just getting it to that point where people can actually fall in love with something that has been taking control of my life for the last couple of years.
Dude, so you're getting paid to do NFT stuff? That's everybody's dream, right?
Yeah, that really is. Yeah, you're right.
Dude, and I see the Bucks jersey. So you are a Tampa Bay fan. Fill us in on your fandom for football.
So I have been a fan of the team since at least elementary school because I remember us winning the last Super Bowl. So I survived the Josh Freeman years, Lovie Smith as a head coach. Forgot the name of the not almost said Paterno, but no, the
Dirk Cutter.
Dirk Cutter.
We had Tony Dungy. We had John Gruden was the one that won you the Super Bowl, right?
Oh, I always loved Chucky. Chucky has a special place in my heart. I was kind of sad we didn't get him when he went back to coaching, but I've been super happy with our old man, the wisdom, Mr. No risk, no biscuit. So
biscuits and grit. No, keep going. I love it.
No risk it, no biscuit. Everything is just falling into motion, and we just did everything right. We started an offensive line, we worked our way back, and we actually made a team that has done something we've never seen since the 70s, where they returned every single starter back from a Super Bowl winning team. And I am so excited to have those cannons going off at I am really off it today.
So good. You got Brady. You got all these magical pieces, the receiving core. We're actually going to get to Bucks RBs later because we have a surprise bust from the Tampa Bay Bucks. But let's start off with quarterbacks. I'm going to hit my quarterback, bounce pass it to you, and we'll talk quarterback bust. Let's get it started. That's what everybody's here for. If you haven't already, NFT Draft, subscribe, YouTube, social media, we're everywhere, anywhere, doing these streams every week. Check us out. You won't be sorry. Quarterbacks, Danny Dimes. I'm looking for a dime. Damn dirty fine. Not this kind of dime, though. I don't want a stinky, nasty dime. And that's what for 16 points Danny Dimes feels like, man. This is a quarterback. He can run. So the 4 points, but Matt, he can run. He can run, but he can't do anything else. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Daniel Jones. I'm not a fan of 16 points. And you know what else I'm not a fan of, Swole?
What's that?
3 games over 20 points last year.
Ooh.
You can start a running back, a receiver, a tight end that's 16 points.
Flex player.
And get way better production. So you're telling me I'm supposed to take the captain of my NFT squad, put him in the lineup, and depend on the New York Blue QB1? No way, Jose. Thoughts on Danny Dimes here, Swole? Am I over-exaggerating things, or do you see a big bounce back? They did hire Kenny Golladay. They've got more weapons in the arsenal. Am I wrong, or is there something I'm missing?
I'm still concerned about that O-line because that's something that's been plaguing the G-men for a very long time. The fact they haven't been able to protect, the star of their franchise, the quarterback. I even think that when Eli was still there, they had issues with the offensive line. So unless they're able to shore up the big uggies up front, I think you're hitting around the head with that New York media tearing them apart. I just don't see versus the other value you can get from other quarterbacks. I don't trust it. With the preseason, like where we are now, I don't trust it. I think what you said is perfect. Just I don't feel comfortable with that points.
Quarterbacks 16 points. Running back Saquon Barkley's banged up, not even practicing full force. Kenny Golladay, their wide receiver 1, not even on the field, dealing with injuries already. Their tight ends inconsistent. This is a team I'd probably stay away from, maybe other than their RB. So just something in there. Don't buy the hype. This guy is a bust. Let's go. Let's talk your quarterback, though, man. This is one high-powered offense everybody wants a piece of. So New Orleans QB1, 16 points. We see two guys over here battling for the same position. What do we have here, and why is this a bust?
I feel it's not that it's the quality of players. It's a matter of volume. So what we saw last year was even when they had Drew Brees, one of the greatest of all times, they would actually take Drew Brees out, put Jameis Winston in for those deep throws. So we've seen this as an offense that will actually sub their quarterback in and out to try and do different things of plays, different gadget plays, what have you. And you have two great athletes there that can get you some points, but depending on where they are at the depth chart, I just think they're going to take time away from each other. And even with the NFL, even if there's not as much momentum as you would in college, I still think there'll be much of disruption to the passing offense, to everything else. Even though they have all those amazing weapons, I just don't know if you could side by side 60 points for a team that doesn't have quarterback by committee and 60 teams for the New Orleans Saints. I would go by one that doesn't have a committee because, like, if I want a QB1, I want one I know is not going to be there and not his backup coming in and possibly stealing touchdowns or big chunks of yards.
Well, and that's what happened last year when Brees was hurt, who was their quarterback 1 last year. You had these two other guys splitting work. You couldn't tell what was going to happen when. You have a quarterback in Winston who turns the ball over, which is worrisome. When he's on the field and he's in the zone, he's on point. But very little time that he is on point. A lot to worry here, dude. I recommend same way. But like I was saying last week, an 8-9 point New Orleans QB2 card, that might be more of the dart throw in your flex spot.
That's actually one of my favorite cards is a number 2. But for the number 1, if I'm paying QB1 money, like I'm putting that point investment into it, I want that production or at least that projection of production. If it's an unknown, I don't want it. And that is a trend you're going to see with all my picks. Like if there's something that's unknown or something I can't rely on, I don't want to put my time and energy into those points.
As my kids would say, frozen into the unknown. I'm getting my thing in an answer. Nobody talking football, we're talking NFTs, and we're talking frozen.
We're talking Elsa. We're going to build a snowman.
Get out of here, Elsa. All right. Anyways, one other point to make on these quarterbacks. New Orleans QB1. Who's he throwing to? New tight end. Receivers out. More. He's got RB1 for New Orleans. So it's kind of like we're preaching to the choir. RB1 for G-Men, yeah. RB1 for New Orleans, yeah. Weapons around it? Maybe not right now. See how it plays out. Maybe week 4 we have more answers, but right now it's a bust. Let's keep going. What you got? One more for me?
Quick thing I was going to say, with the division they're in, there's going to be a lot of shootouts. And I don't know if I could depend on Jameis Winston in high-pressure situations to not turn the ball over if he has to force the ball downfield versus being able to take away the clock.
And you got nobody to throw to, man. You take a quarterback that's strong-armed, that makes mistakes in the passing game, and now you basically rob the cabinet's bare. There's nothing to eat in there, and I'm hungry. So let's keep going. Fire it up. You guys all know I'm all gas, no brakes. Earlier this offseason, I was all gas on Myles Gaskin. I thought this guy was the cream of the crop. Mwah! But we've seen a busy offseason for Miami. And what have they done? They have co-offensive coordinators. That means there's 2 coaches calling the plays in Miami. That's got me biting my nails. Not only that, This offensive line was not good last year. More biting the fingernails. I'm about to be bleeding. Third, they brought in receiving help. They want to push the ball downfield. So what does that do? That makes the run game not as important. When you have a bad offensive line, you've brought in receivers, you're trying to do more of an aerial attack, and you've brought in a goal line back in Malcolm Brown. This scares me away from one of my favorite prospects, Myles Gaskin. For 17 points, I'm not buying it. I don't want it. I don't want to have to rely on this from my running back position, from a flex position. Just one of those, I'm going to have to pump the brakes. All gas, no brakes, not this time. Swole, fill me in. How are you feeling about Miami RB1 and Gaskin?
It's funny. This is almost my pick. Like I was telling you earlier, like I almost picked this one because I think to feel the same thing. When you have a running back in fantasy, you want that third down back. You want someone you know is going to get touches because a running back should have more volume than a tight end or wide receiver. They should touch the ball more. If you have a quarterback by committee, and if they have a deep aerial game, they're really trying to focus, like they're really trying to set up that pass, you may not get those touches, especially if you have that committee. So if you have RB1 point value, this is going to be absolutely mirroring what my pick is. So spot on.
Okay, well, we're agreeing here. It's a theme so far. I think we're going to have a couple more bumps in the road, but I'm liking where we're at. Like we said, anybody just tuning in, NFT draft, free tournaments weekly, $15K cash prize. Check it out. Go get your packs, NFTDraft.io. Enter these tournaments, guys. If you have a passion for football, for NFTs, this is your hookup. Speaking of hookups, I see the Tampa Bay swag. Let's talk Tampa Bay. Why are these guys in this bag of overvalued RBs? Bust. Fill us in this Tampa Bay 1 card at 19 points.
So I am a huge Tampa homer. And typically in fantasy football, the fans love to pick their teams. I cannot stand our running game. We have an offense that's built on that deep passing game. I think Brady was one of the top in the league in terms of deep balls being
correct.
Targets, everything, the whole section. Now, when it comes to running back, Ronald Jones, I've been waiting for him to pop off. He had less than 800 yards rushing last year with 7 touchdowns, including the playoffs. We saw Leonard Fournette pop off during the playoffs. And then you also just got Giovanni Bernard, someone you've been very high on for running back 3. I'm very high on for running back 3. And you have all these really great options. And if you go into the red zone, you can't look at it and say, you know what, I think Tampa Bay running back 1, he's really got a good chance to get this touchdown. When you have, this sounds like a Madden Ultimate Team. You have Gronk, Antonio Brown. You have Mike Evans over here, Giovanni Bernard over here in the halfback slot. There's not even including some of the unsung heroes.
Somebody's got to lose target share in that big old pie when you got that many studs.
And you can, if this is a team that's publicly said and has shown they were able to win a Super Bowl by that deep ball. We saw how they fried the Packers right before halftime with that sudden flick down the field.
Boom.
And so I don't want to put the time and energy into 19 points for running back 1, where I don't think that player or that position will get the touches. Not matter who's going to play in terms of talent. And that's a Bucs fan. We've been waiting for Rojo to break out. We've been waiting for him to do something. And looking at the track record, I'm not feeling it.
I'm going to fall asleep waiting on Tampa Bay's backfield at 19 points. You're talking about you're not getting top 20 running back production. You're getting maybe some RB 2 weeks, some RB 3 weeks. But you mentioned Gio, who we love. Now you got Keyshawn Vaughn in preseason doing pretty damn good. So that's another RB to add to the pie. And I'm not going to get full off of 5 points per week from an RB, 10 points, especially at 19 points when you can slam down another card and kill it off your 20 points, your 17, 18-point players. Yeah, man, this is another one to take away. This is a bust. Danger, danger. No way, Jose. So far we've talked New York Giants QB1, bust. You're not paying the 16, 17 points. We've talked New Orleans Saints QBs. We're not paying the price for either one of those. Overrated, not valued. You're not getting these guys. And we just hit on Gaskin, who's Miami's RB1, as well as Tampa Bay RB1. So we're hitting it hard, hitting it fast. But Swole, I want to take a break from the football because you have a very important event coming up. That's why we brought you on the show. We know you love Tampa Bay. We know you love NFTs, and you're loving this game. But I want to talk a little bit about you. I think this is a great time to talk about the expo you got coming up for Gainables. So I'm going to kind of get off the screen here. I'm going to play your video, and you kind of walk us through if that's all right.
Perfect. So one of the things we really want to do is have virtual events. This is a virtual event we have going on this Saturday. This is a very quick run through of how the expo looks. One of the expo halls we have. We're going to have even more. We're going to try and have up to 36 booths. We have right now about 20, 25. So basically is a place where you can meet NFT projects, meet NFT games, and also mingle with other people who are interested in the space. And we're very excited to have this 3D venue that you can come in for free and be able to see all these different projects. There's going to be exclusive drops. There's going to be giveaways during the event. And we're very excited to showcase this. And we're going to be doing these monthly. But one of the first really big ones we're aiming for is this Saturday, the Gainable Summer Convention. We already have 80 people signed up to be there. So there's going to be a lot of bodies there already that you can hang out with, talk to, and maybe learn some stuff from. Maybe there's some other players who want to trade players with you. You never know. So make sure you come on down this Saturday, August 21st, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have the registration link right where, Matty?
Oh, you'll have it in the YouTube video, as well as you'll be able to get it right here, right now. We're going to bring it, and we're going to, so Gainables.io if you need anything. Swolesome is your hookup. He is on Discord. He is on social media. Reach out to this guy. He will help you out any way possible. We all have a love for NFTs. We all have a love for football. So this is a great way to network, socialize, anything and everything. Swolesome's your hookup, baby. You ready to talk some more football?
Oh, I'm ready.
Whoa! Let's get now. Before we talk, pre-show, you're like, "Hey, MattyDaddy, do you want me fucking all gas, no brakes, or do you want me swolesome?" And I got quite the personality right before we jumped on, so I just want people to know, dude, Swolesome's an entertaining mother trucker. Give me that, like, it was almost like salesman / auctioneer voice. We've got a 10 card, 15 card, go.
I mean, if you want, that's what the people want. Once I caught myself mumbling the first minute or two,
slowed you down.
I gotta slow my roll. Make sure I'm crossing my I's, dot my T's, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I can flip it up to switch you want to, because I am Swolesome, the man of the plan, lack and spring on tan, bacon nuclear arms I ran. I am the tower power, too sweet to be sour, here to help you with football, with NFTs, fire to cannons, football season's almost here, baby!
Bang, bang. Oh, yeah, digging it, Swolesome. I like your style. We're not talking wrestling NFTs, but Swolesome might have you covered. All right. NFTs, overvalued. Bust. Guys, we're wanting off our teams.
We are staying away from.
We're going to hit receivers.
Ex-girlfriend, you block the number.
Yep, you're not going for it. No risk it, no biscuit. No sometimes, but not these biscuits, baby. Adam Thielen. What are you doing, MattyDaddy? This was the wide receiver 10 last year. Are you high? No, I'm not stoned. I'm telling you the truth. I am staying away from an 18-point wide receiver 2. 20-point wide receiver 1? Yeah, well, you can talk me into it. But Adam Thielen, everybody says consistency is key. These are cards you want. You want the consistency, but you want the upside. What Adam Thielen's done the last 2 years has not been upside. It has been luck. And his luck's about to run out. This is a quarterback. 8 times he went over, I believe it was 65, 70 yards. 8 times in 25 games. A target share under 20% as a receiver, that's another red flag. You've got Minnesota, whose defense will be better from last year. And you've got a young stud in Justin Jefferson, Minnesota's wide receiver 1. So to me, for a 31-year-old wide receiver 2 in a body that's been broken, I'm staying away from. I don't want this guy. He got lucky with touchdowns on the goal line. Thielen, if I'm have to, I get it, but at 18 points, you don't have to. 18 points, there's a lot of other options out there. And Thielen, I'm not buying it. He's overrated. All right, Swole, hit me with it. is it that bad of a call when I'm hitting on somebody who, like we said, has been the model of consistency, but I don't think the upside's there.
Whenever you have a player where you need them to hit touchdowns in order to hit their projections, you're playing with fire, because NFL teams make millions of dollars a year trying to get touchdowns, and they still can't do it. So for you, depending on a player, like, they got to hit touchdowns for you to basically say, like, yeah, I broke even with how much I thought this player was going to be worth in terms of investment. You can't depend on that, especially, like you said, he's 31 years old. And, hey, the GOAT on my team, the quarterback, he is beating Father Time, but Father Time has a pretty good track record against everybody else. So I don't trust it, especially we were saying about 60 yards only how many times over 25 games?
8 times in 25 games?
Times.
So 17 times you're getting burned? Like, that's not good. And then on top of that, so let's just say, well, last year he was wide receiver 10. So he had touchdowns. Love it. But here's the thing people don't understand. They had a worse defense, and he still only saw 74 receptions. So that tells you they are not throwing him the ball. He is not a PPR stud. Points per reception. That's how you get your 1 point per catch. He was not doing that anymore. So this is a guy I'm not investing in.
One more thing we haven't talked about yet. The NFL season is going to be longer this year. So some of these older guys, their durability might get called into question.
Definitely. Injury. He's one injury away from being done. I don't like my steak. I don't like my meat well done. Thielen's well done. So I don't like my NFT card values well done. But here's one that I have intrigue because I've tooted my horn on these Houston receivers all off season. When you brought this one up, I get the risk. So maybe that's why he's a bust. I want you to fill me in on the Houston wide receiver 1 card, 18 points, Brandon Cooks.
The Houston team, I don't know where they're going. Even just last year, it felt like their heart was ripped from their chest when some pretty big name players left the team. We saw the debacle that happened with DeAndre Hopkins, just the trade, just messy stuff. And when you add in the fact that their starting quarterback may not be the starting quarterback because of a legal dispute, the fact he does not want to be there, A-Law, Aaron Rodgers, and the backup who will be replacing him is Tyrod Taylor, someone who admittedly has gotten a lot slower. I just don't see upside of this team. So it's not a reflection on the player at the wide receiver 1 position. As a matter of, I think this team is starting to trend downward. It's almost like what we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs way back when they were the floor mat for the AFC West. Like there's a lot of teams that become that punching bag, or where they just don't. The management does not know what to do. Ownership does not know what to do. So they just kind of linger for a while. They start. It's like
unmolded clay, and you don't know what this team's going to do, and the supporting cast is terrible. So you're like, do they play their best player, which at 18 points seems a little high, but I get it, if Watson. Everybody's kind of question mark of this whole offseason is when Watson's going to play. If he's playing, it's around Thanksgiving. So that means you have to wait, 12, 13 weeks to know what you have in Houston. And by then, you've probably bankrupt or you're out of money because you put too many eggs in the Houston basket.
And you're presuming when he comes back, there's no more drama.
Right.
That the locker room is not going to be fractured because all of a sudden the guy who may have been playing really well as quarterback, all of a sudden the big man on campus comes in and you just have that disruption to the locker room.
I feel like I'm ripping my beard out by you doing this card. I get it. Like, I get the bus. There's so many red flags right now, and that's all I'm seeing with chemistry.
That's what really
and it's 18 points. That's the big thing. It's 8. It's not 16. It's not 15. You can't rebound from playing you can rebound. Let me take that back. Clarify it. You're going to play the wrong card, and it's going to bust. But you're trying to take that value and lower it. The younger cards, the 8 points, the 9 points, you get a little more risky with. But those 20-point, those 18, 17-point cards, you want the consistency, but the huge ceiling for high points. And with the Houston wide receiver 1, you're probably not going to get that every week. You might get consistency, but with us not even knowing the quarterback, the running back, pretty much if the head coach will be there. This is a lot of red flags. True. I get it, dude. Cooks. Come on. Man, this one hurts. So we've went receivers. We got one position left. Real quick, guys, enter these tournaments. We got all sorts of promo packs, things like that. Also, coming to you tomorrow night, I'm doing a Q&A again. If you have football questions, you have fantasy football questions, NFT questions, come see me. Wednesday night, MattyDaddy Chatty. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, social media, Twitter. I'll post the link later. This is something, if you have football questions, come see me. I will answer them. That's huge. If you don't know the game of football, I'm going too fast. We have informational videos on our YouTube channel, NFTDraft.io. Please come see me. Ask your questions. No question is a stupid question. Tight end bust, though. This gets a little tricky. I'm going to go mine, and then I'm going to let you steal the show at the end because everybody's going to be like, holy.
It's
they're going to
spicy.
be freaking shit.
It is spicy.
Spicy. Jared Cook, not so spicy. Ugh, I don't even know why. This just, when I went through tight ends and I saw, okay, Minnesota tight end won 10 points, Seattle tight end 8 points, Chicago Bears tight end like 10, 11 points. It's like, yeah, I'm feeling good about these tight ends. And then I go to tight end 1 in San Diego. If anybody doesn't know who San Diego is, that's the Los Angeles Chargers. Jared Cook is an old man, and he has only been a top 10 tight end twice in like 12 years. So what does that tell me? That tells me I can get Julio Jones for 15 points, or I can get Jared Cook.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, it just
makes when you really look at it like that, it's not like I was even thinking like combining rookies, but that's
I mean that's the thing. The tight end card can be meaningful, but it is not a mandatory. No. So when you're thinking of tight ends and you're thinking flexes, you're thinking, okay, I can start 15-point RBs, I can start a second quarterback, I can start different positions. Don't go to San Diego. It's a nice place to live. The weather's perfect. I'm sure there's women everywhere. Oh, the gaga. But for football, I'm staying away from the tight end position. You've got Jared Cook, your old vet, who can have good weeks, but his upside is limited. And then you have a shining star in Darnold Parham, former former basketball player, about 6'9", 300 pounds. This guy is probably the future of the tight end position, but he's probably your tight end too, and he's probably cheap. So this is not a tight end I'm attacking. I don't think many 15-point tight ends I'm probably going to attack, but definitely not this one. Jared Cook, man, can you sell me on this 15-point San Diego card?
After you told me about tight end 2, heck no. When I hear there's a 6'9" tight end with basketball experience, that's big green light, because as you know, some of the best tight ends to see the game had that basketball experience. They had that dual sport experience. We've seen, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name.
Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez.
Thank you, Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez. They just had that basketball experience, and people who don't understand, like people who maybe new to the sport of football, when that tight end has the experience of basketball, they know how to get around. They know how to reach. Like there's different mechanics that they get to learn that really helps them the tight end position, and just that kind of explosiveness of where they can reach gives the quarterback more options. Quarterback can put it in the spot, tight end can go for it because of that basketball experience. And finding out there's a bigger dude, a younger dude right there at tight end 2 who might take some, and we talk about volume. We talk about volume a lot. We got a rookie quarterback, and the tight end is the best friend to a young quarterback. So finding out there is a bigger guy, a younger guy who has got that basketball background.
Has that chemistry. Not only that, but you look at San Diego's RB1, 80 to 100 receptions a year. You have Keenan Allen at receiver. You have Mike Williams, this big-bodied receiver who takes the end zone by storm. So you have all the supporting cast. This is kind of almost revolving back to your Tampa Bay RB angle. You've got Tampa Bay's RBs. They're so-so. But when you have a supporting cast that's so much better, there's going to be less of the pie. And that's how I see it with San Diego. Regardless if it's tight end 1 or tight end 2, I feel a lot more comfortable putting 7, 8 points into the tight end 2 than I do 15 tight end 1. All right. So we've talked bust. We've talked, guys, overvalued. I don't want them. No. Not up in here. Here's the one that that caught my eye, and I think we are going to have to walk us through this because this is bold. Tight end 1, 20 points. Travis Kelce. What? Tell me what is up, Swole.
So a lot of times, if you put a lot of points to somebody, you're paying a premium for the name. You saw that Super Bowl. I saw that Super Bowl. He got shut down. The Tampa Bay defense, who got obliterated by the Chiefs earlier in the season, found a blueprint for how to shut down Mahomes and the Chiefs. They didn't score a single touchdown. They realized when they shut down Tyreek Hill, they double team Tyreek Hill. They just put him in different spots. We saw that infamous peace sign right in Tyreek Hill's face. They shut him down all night. And that's really the only two playmakers in space they had on the team for the Super Bowl. They could have brought in more guys, more free agents, someone who may stand out. But I don't like the idea of paying a premium for someone. And the last time they saw action, the team just took it to the back of the woodshed, as we might say. They just got publicly dismantled. I just don't know.
Injuries, man. He's been injured every year. He either misses a couple games or he has surgery in the offseason. So the red flags, I get what you're saying. Like, age is scary. Injuries are scary. So let's just say he doesn't finish tight end 1. Let's just hypothetically say he finishes tight end 5. That's not a huge drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from a points perspective, you're getting 300 points from a tight end 1. You're getting about 250. Let's just say 250, 245 from tight end 5. Okay. Where does that register as far as receivers? Because I've said receivers. There's so many good ones out of there. He would be like tight end or wide receiver 40. For 20 points, you're paying for the 40th best receiver for 20 points. So madness. That's where we talk strategy, skill. A tight end is a tight end, but a tight end in your roster is a flex. You don't have to start a tight end. And everybody thinks they do. Mm-hmm. You're going to see so many people start a tight end just because they want to. But when the lineup sets, when you look at here, and it says lineup, 10 card max, 135 points, 1 to 2 QB max, 1 minimum to 2 max, defense or kicker or defense kicker. Doesn't say anything about a tight end max or minimum. Doesn't say running back, doesn't say receiver. So back to Kelce. Let's just say the injuries, being 31, 32, being banged up all the time. And let's just say he regresses from that upper echelon to tight end 5, wide receiver 40. That's scary. That is scary.
And I wasn't even factoring, when I was doing that first part, I wasn't even factoring injuries, his age and stuff. I was just going off just production we saw on the biggest stage of them all, of where it looked like the Tampa Bay defense found a way to shut him down.
I like it. Dude, that's what you have to do, though, with a bust this bold. You have to break it down to make people realize, like, I'm not just talking out of my ass. Swole's not just talking out of our ass. We watch football. We dissect the game. You have to break it down. We're looking at the 20-point value, and we're looking at, let's say he does drop because of production on the field, age, injury, and he produces like a tight end 5, a tight end 10. You could start 2 tight end 5s for 20 points, or you could start Kelce and get less. So things to consider, things to think about. Anything else on Mr. Kelce before we get out of here?
I just feel like that is such a bold pick that I feel like a lot of people are going to come after it. But I think it's another really important lesson. Just because you some people are coming into this and they have some knowledge of football or no knowledge of football. Just because you recognize someone's name does not mean they're going to be a player who's going to produce for you. Like, some people may just flat out get Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes because they recognize the name without knowing anything about matchups, injury report,
situation. Yes,
what's going to happen with the tackles for Kansas City? The ones, because I think they were missing both tackles during the Super Bowl.
They traded for a tackle and lost a tackle, but that's where you're saying you have to do the research, the homework. You're trying to win money. We're trying to play to win. It's not just looking at names and thinking, okay. But that's why we're doing this on August 17th. We're recording this. We're putting in the work to help you succeed come week 1. That's why you watch these videos, you ask questions, you check out the website for news, Discord channel, you name it. You invest yourself in the product. Yeah, we can play for fun. They're free tournaments. We can get our cards, our collections. We can enter the free tournaments. We can be 8675309. Or you can take this to heart. You can dominate. You can sponsor a tournament. Swolesome, right there on his name. He just started Tampa Bay's wide receiver 3 and killed it. And he won the pot. Guess who won the pot? Not 8675309. Swole. Swole won the pot. That's who's getting out there, putting down points. And that's what we're here doing, guys. We're giving you bust. We're giving you values. We're doing mock drafts, and we're teaching you the game of football. But not only football, fantasy football.
Another exciting thing, too, a lot of times when people do cover fantasy sports, they talk about the can't-miss players. Very rarely will you see someone actually like, I would be careful about this guy, this guy, this guy, and this is why.
Those are the ones that lose you.
In a traditional fantasy football, if you miss on your first-round pick, it hurts you for the season. And this one, you don't have the draft concept where you have to pick player by player by player individually, but it also means the rest of your opponents have a bigger pool to select from. So you have to be very careful about your point allocation. If you follow only the big names, Tom Brady, Travis Kelce, like we were just talking about, if you go for, I want this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and you just fill in with no names, you're not going to do too hot, typically.
That's why, guys, have fun. That's number one. We're talking this game. We are talking money, so we are very competitive. Everybody wants to be an alpha and show off their cards. Be like, hey, dude, I started the tight end 3 for Kansas City, and he just blew up, and I started him. So there's ways to do it, but there's a way to use that noggin. Everybody went to kindergarten. Everybody went to first grade. Everybody can do math. But now can you research? Can you do your homework? And that's what's important. Set yourself up for success. That's what we're doing here. MattyDaddy, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on social media. Oh, baby, you're giving us the football gaga. I'm giving it to you every day, all day. Swolesome, Gainables.io. Swolesome on social media. You write 1:37 p.m. That's right around the corner. That you're putting in the work on the NFT front, and you are a fan of the game. Where can they find you if they want more of you?
They want more of me. There's a couple of things. We have a Discord for Gainables.io. You can see me this Saturday at the events, and you can follow me on social media on Twitter as Swolesome and on TikTok. Trying to focus more and do more NFT content on TikTok, but Twitter is probably the best way to see what I got rolling around in my head.
Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely have you on again. We'll talk some start sits maybe during the season. Maybe break down a big matchup. I know Tampa Bay's starting against Dallas. That's got me shaking in my boots.
I want to see what Prescott does against my defense. I'm very curious.
Cowboys, we have potential, but we have to stay healthy. That's another show for another time.
You're a Boys fan, right?
I'm a Boys fan.
So it's our teams are actually starting.
Yeah,
it's that until just now. That's actually interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in being a Cowboys fan and fantasy and trying to separate both. That's another thing I've learned, and it's fun, but it's almost, as a Cowboys fan, it hurts a little bit. Let's get out of here. MattyDaddy, Swolesome.
Awesome.
Till next week, it has been a pleasure. My treasure.